Yesterday we began a discussion on the Hijrah of the Muslims. Hijrah of the Muslims because Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam had not performed his Hijrah. He had first seen to the safety of his followers. We know the title of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam amongst the Quraysh, As-Sadiq al-Amin, the truthful, trustworthy. And these weren't just empty titles or just titles of recognition, but practically when the Quraysh had some things which they needed to leave by a trustworthy person, they would choose, of course, As-Sadiq al-Amin. So Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam had in his possession a great quantity of the wealth of the Quraysh. Now, if there was a person of lesser standing, of lesser morals, would say, no, these people are oppressing us and they've done this wrong with us and that wrong with us. Why should I bother about that? But till the end, Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked after their wealth, and obviously he could not return it to them directly, because if he had to go and start giving people's wealth back to them personally, it would show that now he's intending to leave Makkah to escape their plots. So instead, Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam left instructions to Ali radiallahu anhu that he would leave him behind in Makkah Mukarramah. It would be his job to return to each kafir, and whoever the person had a trust of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you would have to return that trust to that person. Now, as we've also mentioned before, the Arab system was entirely based upon tribe, clan, family. The Quraysh leaders had a meeting now that we need to destroy Islam now once and for all, meaning that we had to destroy the person of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam once and for all. And they had a meeting in a meeting chamber called the Darun Nadwah. What are we going to do? Some said, let us just imprison him. And then that was vetoed. They said, no, we imprison him. His followers will come and they will just help him escape. So others said, let's banish him, send him somewhere. And that was also vetoed. They said, if we banish him, we just have somewhere else to start preaching, and there Islam will start spreading there. That's not going to destroy Islam. We need to get rid of Rasūlullāh once and for all. But if they kill Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam because of the Arab tribal system, the Banu Hashim, which was still a powerful clan, and all the other tribes which was aligned with the Banu Hashim, they would take revenge if anybody had to kill Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam outright. So Abū Jahl came with the idea that let us choose a young man from each tribe, the Banu Makhzūm, the Banu Umayyah, whatever it might be. All these young men will gather and kill Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam together. If they kill Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam together, then the Banu Hashim can't blame any one specific tribe of this plan and say that no, the Makhzūm did it, or the Umayyah did it, or whoever did it. But it's a collective plan. The whole of Quraysh did it, so they can't blame anybody specifically. And so they all agreed upon this, and they gathered outside the house of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the house of Khadījah radiallahu anha specifically. With this intention, they would burst in and kill Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam came out, and we know Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited from the beginning ayat of Surah Yāsīn, and threw sand upon them, and Allah blinded the visions, and they did not see Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam passing by them right there. When the time came, and then they burst into the house, and they saw Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam had departed, and it was only Ali radiallahu anhu in the house, who had been given the duty of returning the trust to the Quraysh. We mentioned Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a tactic did not go north to Medina, but because he headed south through what is now Azizia. And then Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam took refuge in the Cave of Thawr with his trusted companion Abū Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And so much can be said. Volumes cannot be enough to describe the character and the love of Abū Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. In this journey alone, look, as they were traveling, at one moment Abū Bakr radiallahu anhu would go straight ahead. The next moment he would go back, ahead, back, ahead, back. And Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I fear that what if somebody is coming from the front to attack you? And so that's why I go ahead of you, to protect you. And then I thought, I'm leaving you behind. What if someone's coming behind?" So much concern in Abū Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu had for Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it is the famous ayah in Sūrah Tawbah. Allah describes the scene where Abū Bakr radiallahu anhu and Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam are in the Cave of Thawr. And Allah uses the word Sahib. Abū Bakr radiallahu anhu gets the personal certificate from Allah that you are a Sahib, you are a companion of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And more than that, when Musa alayhi salam and the Bani Israel, when they were in danger, when they were being pursued by their enemy, Fir'aun, the Egyptians, and then what does the Quran record Musa alayhi salam saying? Allah ma'i. Allah is Inna ma'iya Rabbi. Allah, my Rabb, is ma'i, with me. Because he is the Rabbi of the time, he's got Allah's guarantee. And his people were, but not all of them, as pious as we would like them to be. Some of them are pretty much corrupt. There's no guarantee of Allah being with them, but they were protected also through the blessings of Musa alayhi salam. However, in regards to Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abū Bakr as-Siddiq, it's not ma'i, it is ma'ana. Allah is with us. What the status of Abū Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu has in the eyes of Allah, such praise upon praise, which is not the only place where Allah is Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam praises Abū Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. And Allah is not in need of humans. All the creation of the junood, or the armies of Allah. Allah, when the Quraysh do happen to stumble across, because they also have the expert trackers and huntsmen, and they come across the cave, Allah uses the spider to spin the web over the cave. So this cave, spider won't spin its web where there are people coming up and down, and they will thresh the web, and the pigeon lays its egg there, makes its nest there, the entrance of the cave. So they say, no, there can't be anybody inside. Animals, the spider, the birds, they won't be resting here if there was anybody inside. Whereas they were so close, they said that they just looked down. They didn't even have to go inside. Wasn't a massive cave as we might picture. Quite a small little chamber that, standing at the entrance, had the Quraysh just look down, they would have been able to see Abū Bakr radiallahu anhu and Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It's by such a thin, literally by the thinness of the web of a spider did Allah choose. That means to protect His Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, was our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, saved, and that we could be still Muslims today. So there were various Quraysh parties running after Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wasallam, hunting him, because the Quraysh had also put up a prize of 100 camels, which is a stupendous sum of that time and till today. So many people running in pursuit of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam, looking for him. One of this was Surāqah bin Mālik, and he heard the report that someone had seen these travelers, which matched the description of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Surāqah, later on, radiallahu anhu, he comes in pursuit to capture Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam, dead or alive. But as he comes, Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam turns his attention to Allah, and the horse of Surāqah stumbles. He gets up, gets back on his horse, and this happens repeatedly until he realizes that no, Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam is under the protection of Allah. So he asked Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I want your protection, and I want this in writing. Give me a letter of protection that I am under your protection. A few minutes ago, he wanted to kill Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As the reality became clear, and he didn't necessarily accept Islam at that moment, but later on, he did accept Islam. And then Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him that more than the protection that he gave him, he also made him this promise that this day will come when the Emperor of Persia, my followers will capture his empire, and the bracelets, the gold bracelets of the Emperor will be placed in your hands. And this seems such a fantastic, far-fetched thing. Again, like I mentioned before, the prediction of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Islam was ruling absolutely nothing at that point. And here Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, his life was in danger. Everybody was after his blood. And Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam is speaking about capturing the superpower of that time, the Persian Empire, and putting his bracelets in the hands of Surāqah. And of course, Rasūlullāh sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most truthful. This happened exactly like that in the time of the Khilafah of ʿUmar bin Khattāb. The Persian Empire, the conquest began, it was completed later in the time of Uthman. But in the time of Umar, the bracelets, the jewelry of the Persian Emperor was captured, and Umar personally saw to it that it went to Surāqah, fulfilling the words of Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wasallam, on the way, there were also other miracles, such as Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wasallam came across an elderly lady, Ma'bad, and upon asking that can we drink some of the milk from your goat, and she replied, it's an old goat, its days past, it hasn't given milk for a long time. But when Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wasallam placed his blessed hands on the teats, on the udder of the goat, milk started flowing, and they drank. And then when Ma'bad's husband returned from wherever he was, and she told him what happened, and so he said, seems to be the people that the Quraysh are in pursuit of. Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wa sallam continued his journey to Medina Munawwarah, where the Muslims were waiting for Rasūlullāh sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We'll continue that tomorrow, inshallah.